I want to get into what happened at CPAC. What happened?
Oh, right. That's right. Well, what we typically do,
Yeah.
hmm, and the third thing it does is it's a rallying cry. It's sort of like the RNC, how the RNC pumps people up and energizes people who are eventually going to be staff workers for Republicans or volunteers for Republicans, and it makes them really energized and excited to go out and work a bajillion hours for no pay. I mean, you really have to pump people up to do a lot of
So
work.
it's a boot camp for activists, conservative activists, you would say.
They had
So yeah. So the first reason for doing is it's a annual convention for conservatives to meet and greet each other and network with each other and let each other know what's going on and try to get speakers for their various events coming down the road,
yep.
to talk to media, to get articles written about their club or their organization. And there are hundreds and hundreds of conservative organizations, each ruled over by a duke or a duchess, or a duchess that thinks he's a duke, or a duke that
Yes.
thinks he's a duchess, and all kinds of people. So that's okay. So there are three things that happen, and
Pretty much.
and
Those are the
and
three
you
purposes.
get free stuff, and you get to see celebrities both in the media and politics.
Oh yeah, I mean Dennis Prager, Nigel Farage,
Yeah,
James O'Keefe.
Will Witt was
Yeah,
there.
Will Wheat. I feel so stupid. I didn't I just kind of stared at him like, is that Will Witt?
Yeah.
Nah. Then I look on his Instagram feed later. I go, no, that was him.
Well,
But yeah,
this is your first time in a big bathtub, soaking it up with celebrities, right?
it wasn't an orgy. Come
I
on.
know. Well, I think, listen, we have to titillate our audience here. We have to get suggestive.
Well, I don't even have
I,
to try. I don't know about you.
I don't even have to try. This comes naturally. So,
No,
okay.
you
So
do.
I read an article. If you're not going to tell us what your takeaway is, let me probe you. Okay.
Fine.
Let me
You
probe.
can dive deep down into me. Go
Yes.
for it. Just go.
I heard. I read an article by somebody from RealClearPolitics
Okay.
.com, which I rely upon for some pretty good, straightforward things. And she was there for only 2 days, like yourself, and she came away with two things that happened, two things that really make a difference. First of all, that CPAC, more than with any recent president, including Reagan, really branded with Trump, that he was all over the place, that his messaging, his media outsourcing, his presidency was literally the 800-pound gorilla in the room everywhere. Everybody was talking about him, referring to him, having interviews about him, writing this and that and the other thing. The second thing, I think, which is more important, and I don't know if you picked this up, and that was that uh, socialism was being counterattacked. Did
Well,
you find that to be true?
Well, here's two points I have. Number one, because I was volunteering, I was in the hub, which means I was mostly hanging around and networking, and of course supporting Go USA, which I'll do a plug in later this episode. Uh, that was primarily what I was doing. I didn't get to actually see any speakers, unfortunately.
Right. It would cost you
However,
another $100.
right, yeah, it's insane. There was a Ronald Reagan dinner.
Yeah.
It's only a $250 price tag for
Oh,
dinner,
okay.
just for dinner. And I talked to some
And
people who
Reagan
actually,
wasn't even there.
I
Reagan wasn't
know, I
even there.
know, he was busy, he was doing
Very
something.
busy. Yeah. Mhm.
So, and I heard he was still in Simi Valley,
Yeah.
feet
Yeah.
underground.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I heard the food wasn't good at that dinner anyway, uh, ironically, but that's pretty much what CPAC is. It's a place for conservatives to get together. I met tons of people from places like New York, New York City, battleground areas, really. Not so much people from Nebraska or Montana, but people from the real, places where conservatism is a crime, essentially.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
getting back to what you were saying about the
Yeah.
Trump presence,
Yeah.
because this was my first CPAC, it's very difficult to judge because I haven't been to one during Bush or
Yeah.
Obama.
Yeah.
Fine, but I mean, the whole conservative movement now is very much linked to Trump. And I can speak on this in a bigger context than just CPAC, but also
Mhm.
the whole the conservative movement as a whole, whether or not that's a good thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
But he very much is an energizer. See, for his speech, he came about an hour and a half late.
Mhm. Mhm.
He can do that because he's the president of the United States.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
He's got
can
his
do
own
that.
plane. He's got his own plane. Yeah.
And he also spoke an extra hour.
Mhm. How long was his speech? 2 hours?
It was the longest speech that Trump has ever made, according to Breitbart.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So that'd be
Um,
about 3 hours.
and well, yeah, I mean, people, yeah, and
Huh.
I wasn't actually in the room. I heard that a lot, people are standing in the back effectively.
Mhm.
We also, and because the hub, there was a exterior wall that was facing the president's route from where he's speaking to back
Mhm.
to Air Force One. Because there was one exterior wall touching his pathway, we weren't allowed to go to the hub until he was in Air Force One ready to take off.
Right. Right. Right.
So I mean, it's like, that. I mean, I'm
Did they
happy
have
that
it on?
that
They
was.
didn't have it on a jumbotron for the hub people. There wasn't a closed circuit
No, no, no.
TVs.
The whole hub was closed off. We weren't even allowed to go in the hub because one exterior wall was
I got that, but where were you while the speech was going on?
literally sitting around trying to live stream. I watched a few parts on live stream
Oh, okay, it was
of
live
the
stream.
speech.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was watching with a friend's phone,
Okay, well,
and
what was the impact of the speech and his attack on socialism? Did this reporter get it right? Was that the
yeah,
main
it,
messaging?
that was pretty much a unilateral theme. Is they beat up the idea of socialism because nothing brings conservatives together like a good fight with Russia.
Yeah,
Nothing.
commies. Yeah,
Oh my good.
commies.
I mean,
Yeah, let's
look.
go
I
hunting for
mean,
commies.
I love movies that have Nazis as the villains, but
Mm,
there's a certain joy to fighting communists. I
yeah,
mean,
commies.
there's a
Yeah,
certain inherent American thing to doing
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, the British helped fight the Nazis, the French underground, the this and the that, but it really was America that brought commies to their knees,
Hmm.
to their mother Russian knees. Yeah. So
We do
anyway,
it for Mother Russia. We do it
yeah.
for Mother Russia.
Well, Daddy Armenia's out back. So anyway,
Being shot by
it
the
definitely,
commissar.
yeah. Well, it definitely not the hub area. The hub, they're busy promoting their own dukedoms and their own little
Yeah, life.
kingdoms and all stuff. Their fiefs and their serfdoms and
Hmm.
whatnot. But during the speakers like Ted Cruz and Mike
Hmm.
Pence, yeah, they're all talking about socialism and how we will fight back. And the reason why Trump's speech was so long is because he was basically covering every big bullet point. And because I mean, look, we can do a podcast on just one day in the news cycle of the Trump era, and that would be enough material for a year at least
Hmm.
from just one day. Because
Sure,
I
sure.
mean, there's a lot, but he hit pretty much every point from foreign affairs to education,
Hmm.
free speech, socialism, deals, what he's done,
Immigration, the wall. Did he do the whole thing? Yeah, yeah.
everything. So
Everything. Yeah.
I mean, he even threw in a cool story about General Raisin Cane. I love that story.
Raisin Cane. I
So you
haven't
see
heard
what
that one.
happened. So you see what happened. Well, I mean, not
Uh,
everyone's going to watch the 2 hour speech. So
no,
I'll
no.
summarize that part. You go. So you see, I talk to my generals and say, when can we defeat all the caliphate? When can we do that? When can we do that? Well, sir, the Trump actually impersonated his lead generals in Washington. Well, sir, we can get it done in about 2 years. 2 years, I say 2 years. That's too long. Hey, why can't we do it any sooner? Sorry, sir, there's nothing we can be doing. We are doing our best we can, sir. So then I'm sitting all alone in Washington D.C. for you, the people. I tell Milana, go back to Florida. Go. I spend New Year's, Christmas all alone, surrounded by 200 beautiful machine guns. No, these are actual quotes, guys. You can actually see
Oh,
this.
that's great. That's great.
It was
Little
it was
machine.
it was hysterical. Beautiful. They were the most beautiful machine guns in the history of machine guns. and so and so I go off to Iraq. And he gives this long narrative about how he didn't believe that they were going to land right, but the pilot assured him that they were going to land, even though there's like one little light. But he goes, "We spent $17 trillion invading the Middle East, and we can't even properly write up a runway. What's up with that?" What's It was an entertaining 2 hours. Okay.
Oh. So what
so
happened to General Racing Kane?
So he lands there and he's talking to the general and the
Yeah.
corporal and the sergeant, all these different people, and he, meets the leaders together, and he's talking with, according to Trump, I kid you not, I asked, "What's your name?" And he goes, "General Raisin." Raisin? Yes, sir.
General
Raisin
Racing.
King. I as soon as he said that, I looked that up on Google Trending. General Raisin Kane. You could just see like search results 000. It just shot up at like
Instantaneously, right? That's
oh, it
unbelievable.
was so funny.
Oh God.
So anyway, um,
Uh,
anyway, so he's talking to General Raisin Kane,
yeah.
and he says, "How soon do you think you can defeat ISIS?" "Well, sir, if the leadership, well, sir, if the leadership says we can do it, we can just corner them, wipe them out in 2 weeks." 2 weeks, 2 weeks, Trump said. "But my people in D.C. said you'd take at least 2 years." He goes, "Well, sir, I this is all paraphrase. I like to.
Yeah.
Well, sir, uh, keep in mind, this is not Raising Cane.
I love it.
This is my impersonation of
Yeah.
Trump impersonating Raising King.
Yeah. We got there.
You don't need to give me
story.
the
Story.
So, so he says all we have to do is surround the caliphate, attack it from all sides, and then we can go home. And Trump goes, "Well, why are my Washington advisors telling me that it takes 2 years?" And then King goes, "Well, sir, I take my orders from them, sir." So effectively, what Raising Cane is telling is that it's not so much the Washington advisors that are listening to good old Raising Cane and telling Trump, "Hey, this is what Raising Cane says." No, these people are telling both Raising Cane and Trump how it's going down.
Yeah, how it's going to get out. Yeah.
So
that doesn't surprise me. That's what happened in Vietnam. The politicians, what we call the military politicians, which is the Joint Chiefs, they surround the president and they tell the president how long X and Y and Z are going to take.
And they ignore.
If you talk to the generals in the field, they'll say, "Oh, we can do that tomorrow." Nobody's asking us to do it tomorrow. Nobody's ordering me to do it tomorrow. If you ordered me to do it tomorrow, I'd fucking do it. That's what is the problem.
Yes. So I mean, on one hand, I would assume the reason why these politician generals.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get off the subject of CPAC, but
no.
Yeah. I mean, really, the best term to this is just one example of the deep state.
Yeah.
We were talking in some other conversation about virtually every big organization has a deep state. The Vatican, the United States government, probably the UN,
judicial system, judicial system, judges.
Exactly.
Court, all those district courts.
And major corporations. You bet they have. The education system.
They move at glacial speeds. They move like snails.
But the thing is, they're about as big as glacial, because you can't really deter a glacial. It may be moving slowly, but no matter how hard you push, you ain't gonna stop it. Unless, of course, you're Trump.
My friend who worked at the Pentagon, he once told me, he said that it takes 5 miles to turn a battleship 90 degrees. He said it takes another 5 miles to turn it 180 degrees.
Did he tell you?
He says, that's why things don't get done in the military.
Did he also tell you that a battleship going at full speed I think an aircraft carrier or a
Mm,
battleship or the
mhm.
other, it can go all the way through Manhattan
Oh yeah,
Island.
yeah. He told me that one too. Yeah, yeah. A battle, a aircraft carrier, which is the largest of the boats that we have, at flank speed, which is full speed. Yeah, it could cross Manhattan without coming to a stop.
So I mean, yeah, they are
Uh,
slow and sluggish, but they are
well,
behemoths
it
of
seems to me
power.
that this time CPAC really does make a difference because every other president that I've ever known gone to CPAC uh, was received with lukewarm reception, a polite but not enthusiastic reception, especially Bush one and Bush two, and uh, Reagan was received quite enthusiastically. So you have to go back
Bit
to
before
Reagan.
my time, a little bit before my time.
Okay, all right. Um, so, did you have any interesting conversations with actual individual people who are?
I did. Well, I did. A lot of groups are looking for people to write for them, to be kind of their writing
Uh-huh,
junkies.
uh-huh, uh,
Um, I mean, I won't name names
uh,
because that's exclusionary. Well, of course, there's one group that I promise I do a plug for. And that's Go USA. Their big thing
uh,
is rebranding the
mm,
Republican part, the grand old party, into being the
mm,
grand opportunity party. Because we don't like old ideas.
right,
We don't do old things anymore. So we're
right.
just going to keep it secret that things like the free market
Yep,
and
yep, yep.
individual freedom, we're just going to pretend those aren't old ideas and just say
Hmm.
those opportunity,
Yep,
grand opportunity party.
yep.
And being that the chairman of the GOP actually gave the founder John Paul a shout out, in
Pretty good.
public.
Yep.
I mean, it's gaining steam. So I mean, I mean, I wish him all the best. I hope it does grow.
Hmm.
Certainly does.
Hmm.
So that's just one. I mean, our booth is one example of the many
Yeah.
other groups around there. So I mean, you got Log
Would
Cabin
you?
Republicans,
Yeah.
Leadership Institute, Heritage Foundation,
Hmm.
NRA.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah. They're
and
big. Did you uh, did you observe yourself the meteoric rise of Hayden Williams at this event? Yeah.
yes, yeah. Well, I have mixed feelings about this.
Yeah.
Um,
Tell me.
I mean, mostly, I mean, first and foremost, I feel very happy that that Hayden's receiving justice.
Yeah.
He's, his assailant is either being convicted or currently behind
Well,
bars.
just to refresh the viewers
Yeah.
and listeners, let me just wrap it up in a blanket for you. Hayden Williams was working on Berkeley College campus, a few feet away from the steps where Mario Savio launched the free speech movement, but literally a few steps away. He was assaulted by a gentleman, I think his name is Zachary Greenberg.
I would not call him a gentleman, and
I'm being polite.
I
I'm being
also would
polite.
not use his name. Don't
Well,
give
no,
him a
his name is now plastered everywhere. He has been arrested by the Berkeley campus police. He has been arraigned for assault with a deadly weapon and for causing severe bodily harm. And
yes.
he will be prosecuted. And I don't think there's any way that he can escape the video evidence that has been brought to him.
Good. Thank goodness.
I don't think there's any problem with that.
Good. Good.
And it
That's
just is another instance of the fact that the violence that's political is driven by the loony left, not the liberals, but the loony left, the extreme left. And it's sad because they claim that they're engaging in violence to stop the violence that they believe Trump is triggering. It's just lunatic, loony left. That's why I call it the loony left, because you really believe in the logic that I'm going to commit violence to prevent people from being triggered violently, like me.
it, it is a weird. I mean, you really have to step back and wonder if they've ever thought through these ideas that they're.
I'm school. Have they ever, get, can they? I mean, do they have any parents? You know, where did they grow up? Where were
I don't
they
know.
bred
They kind of
up?
just sprang out of Zeus's head. I don't know, but
Uh,
well, the opposite part. Because if
anyway,
the goddess of wisdom came from Zeus's head, then I guess they came from the opposite of the head.
okay, we're gonna bring this home tonight for you, ladies and gentlemen. Alex starts his job tomorrow, his paid internship tomorrow. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'll be working for CNS News.
Oh, you
I'll
get a
be I'll be a
you get a
reporter.
credential. You have a yeah.
I'll be a reporter on the Hill.
Oh,
I think every now and then I'll be stopping by Mr. Trump's house,
yes.
just to pay him a visit. Have a little chat here and
Yeah.
there, and maybe he'll send me, here and there. Yeah, so I'm extremely excited about that. I'll still be writing for my blog, which comes out next Saturday.
Hmm.
You'll love this one. Ooh, it's gonna be a fun one.
Okay.
More on it later.
All right.
By the way, guys, follow me on Instagram, Alex Minaj.
Yes. Yes. Alex
Please.
Medallion on Instagram. You have more followers on Instagram than you do on Facebook.
I do.
Yeah, I think you
No,
do.
it's not true. I have. No. Stop you. What, you stalking me or something? You stalking me or
No,
something?
I don't have an Instagram account, and I guess I should get.
So, guys, make sure that our channel grows more and more, so that
Yeah.
we will have a booth, so that
I
we get a booth at CPAC
Oh,
next year.
I want to thank the listeners and the viewers. You're doing a great job clicking on the subscribe on each of our videos now on YouTube. There's a little button on the lower right hand corner where you can subscribe. This helps both of us. It helps you to make sure that we stay doing these podcasts. It helps us with our marketing and network growth and our presence on the podcast universe. So thanks very much, because we are increasing our footprint and our presence. People see the light. Anyway, off to you could be a working stiff tomorrow.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Very hard. Very, very hard. As always.
that's why they call them walking.
All right. Thank you
Right.
very much for listening, everyone. I'm going to drink to that.
Oh, I
Make
can
sure to
go.
follow. I don't want to drink anymore.
Yeah.
Make sure to subscribe on iTunes and as well as YouTube. And have a nice day, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
It's toodaloo. What do you do?
Oh, it's not
You.
too. Bye. Bye.